Hello, everyone, and good evening. Welcome to Foster Stadium. We are here for the first of two semifinals for the Disc Northwest Boys Division Ultimate Frisbee Championships. We have Roosevelt Rough Riders versus the Cleveland Eagles. My name is Molly McKeon.
I am Trent Dillon.
Really looking forward to the matchup we have tonight. Really happy to have Trent along with me. I'm not as familiar with a lot of these athletes aside from just seeing them excel and do really well on the field, but personally I don't really know them. I know Trent coaches Seattle Waldorf and has a little bit more familiarity with some of the players, and I'm looking forward to working with him just so we can put on a good show for you, and hopefully they do too on the field.
Yeah, and I'm just excited to tune into what should be a great game. A lot of high energy, a lot of intensity under the lights. Really exciting to see what these two teams are going to put on the field here.
Definitely a lot of experience for both teams. A lot of years in semifinals or finals. The couple of possessions, first couple points, they're going to get into a rhythm. They're going to start executing. I've loved their running that both teams have been doing. That first pull play by Roosevelt was very nice. Had a deep option and ended up getting a lot of yardage gaining. And when Cleveland had the ball, they really swung the disc and moved it, got a lot of yards, and ended up taking a deep shot that's going to connect probably late in the game. Roosevelt now attacking the sideline. Cutters are a little bit deep for the handler, but we have 92 coming wide open. Nice yardage gaining. Bobbles it, but able to focus and get in control of it. Handler set going into motion. Number 8 goes up line, gets hit. Finds a cutter downfield. Still trapped on the home side or the away sideline, force side. Handler's getting initiated again. Elects to dump it back. I like how they're kind of letting one person at a time attack space versus exploding. That shows that they have a lot of discipline and are probably going to get more into a rhythm of like timing for each other as this game goes on.
Yeah, totally.
Excellent IO throw to get the handler, but ooh, number 11 in the lane for Cleveland. Gets the D, knocks that disc out of the air. I like the walk away. Calm down, get set. Get chill, start our offense. Cleveland picking up. And it looks like we might have an injury sub. Number 7 for Cleveland going off. Hopefully we'll see him back again. Maybe it's just a little bit of a tweaky thing.
Coming in, number 30, Zeppelin. Give me a moment. Zeppelin Ronig, one of the strongest deep receivers on the field. Look for him to make an impact.
Dropped on the home sideline now, initiating their handlers. Gets a disc up line. No deep cut right away, but we do have an immediate option. Gets a hand on it, but able to stay in bounds. Number 10 brings it in for a break for Cleveland. They lead 1-0 now over Roosevelt. Wow.
Yeah, tough one to let up for Roosevelt. Their offense was cooking, but Cleveland did a good job of mitigating the yardage they actually gained and making them work the disc. And eventually it ended up with a couple execution errors that just kind of gave Cleveland life.
Yeah, I think something that Cleveland can probably do to kind of make Roosevelt go out of their comfort zone is to really make them swing the disc. They really want to just keep going up the open side, either from the cutters or from the handlers up line, and making them go around might end up being something that they need, but also they can prove that I'm wrong. And Roosevelt actually does want to do that. They just forgot this point.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't know. I think in that last point we saw 4 or 5 completed up lines from Roosevelt. You know, Cleveland likes to play a tight handler D. They like to challenge the resets, and you know, Roosevelt, especially if they're running that deeper horizontal stack, there's a lot of room to attack up line. So we'll see if they can keep that rolling, but they're going to have to execute, and I think we knew that going into this game. So,
yeah. If Cleveland is anything like their Lady Eagle counterparts in the spring, they got really tight handler D.
Yeah.
Cleveland now going for their second break. Roosevelt trying just to get a hold. This is when you just need to take a breath.
Yeah, and Cleveland, from the looks of it, looks like they're putting on some of their most experienced and talented players on this line. So we'll see if Roosevelt can withstand the fire here.
Yeah, just got to breathe. Take it one throw at a time, one pass at a time, one possession. Disc gets centered. Roosevelt comes out in a horizontal stack, immediately just working it with the handlers. Cleveland comes out in kind of a zony poach look. I like that look. Blade over the top, breaking it open. Off to the races now for Roosevelt. Cleveland doing a good job of containing them. trying to dump it and go around. Kind of stranding their handler right now, number 7 trapped on the sideline. Elects to do a blade again, finds a perfect spot again to number 98. So throw the disc over across the field, and number 24 brings into his breadbasket. Nice and excellent. That was a really excellent smooth hold by Roosevelt facing a zone. That was awesome.
Yeah, a couple of nice blades make quick work of the zone here. Cleveland, you know, you can talk about their intensity and energy in person and matchup D, but they actually have a really dynamic zone defense. And it's cool to see them go to that right away on the second point, even after getting turns in person. But, you know, like you said at the beginning, it's not that windy, so
Yeah.
we'll see if they can, if they return back to that zone and have success with it.
I hope they do. I love zone. There's a lot of different things that they can do to adapt and make things a little bit harder for Roosevelt. But Roosevelt just chilly, worked it down the open side, found nice little dime balls into that little spot over and over again. Once their players get a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more warmed up, a little bit ready to be on the field, they'll be able to just hit those spots a lot better with their Cleveland work a little bit more in that zone. Roosevelt now with their first defensive line. Talking things out, wondering if they're Welcome back, everyone. Sorry that you lost us for a little bit. Had a little bit of a power outage kind of thing. Roosevelt is now up 2-1. They just got an excellent break with the use of their zone after Cleveland throws another one.
Actually,
it looks like a stall is called,
call
so not a break yet. We're going to redo that point.
Yeah, Roosevelt earning the disc here after after a patient zone defense point. Cleveland did a good job working it to midfield, but then kind of a quick swing past the cup resulted in D.
And a hand block off the stall call. It was a contested stall call, so disc came in at 8. 70 elects to try to just throw a backhand. Cleveland gets a nice little paw on it. Back to Cleveland's disc. Roosevelt immediately throws their zone again. Cleveland doing a good job of moving it quickly, but not frantically. Disc now in the middle. Roosevelt trying to push them to the sidelines. Just lots of dime throws for Cleveland to these little spaces. I'm loving this.
Yeah, looks like more of a contained zone, right? Would you say,
Yeah.
Molly, than something that's necessarily like trapping
Yeah.
or kind of trying to get blocks? Looks like Roosevelt content with keeping the disc kind of in front of them and pushing them to the sideline.
Yeah, they're looking to collapse or attack if the disc gets trapped on a sideline really well, and if the stall count gets high. Otherwise, they're trying to like minimize looks and slow them down a little bit, make them go side to side, make them lose yards versus gain yards.
Right.
Oh!
Close one.
Roosevelt gets a hand on it, stays in the air though. Number 3 brings it in. Excellent space find for Cleveland. Number 0 fakes a hammer.
There are some over-the-top options available here. They're not taking quite everything away, but Cleveland has been mostly patient.
I love the work of Martin Lay throughout that whole zone. He didn't end up throwing that score, but he was the one that was kind of a reset, getting the ball moving, and once the disc got through everything, his job was done.
Yeah.
Cleveland score, they hold now. Score is 2-1. Cleveland up a break.
That's a heartbreaker for Roosevelt, huh? Finally get the turn, work it up, comes back on a stall. That's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, part of the game, unfortunately, sometimes, but that's life.
Yeah.
But that was still a really good point. They should be really proud of that point for Roosevelt. That was excellent defensive pressure. That's only going to increase as the game goes on. And I'm just looking forward to how things like develop in this game. Love seeing Coach Clay Dewey Valentine getting in the spirit of Halloween, dressed up as Russell from Up, I believe. I think I saw one of the Roosevelt players with a toucan head on earlier for warm-up a little bit, or at least right before the game started. So people kind of getting in the spirit of Halloween. But what better way to do that than be here?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful night tonight. Sun's starting to go down. We can have a great view of the mountains and the trees from this booth. Looking forward to see what the players do next. Coach Valentine giving his players just a little bit more pep talk with their defensive plays. Do you think they're going to come person or they're going to come zone again?
I think we're going to see person here. I think we're going to see the matchup. I really think that's their bread and butter, and I think that's what's going to challenge Roosevelt, I think, the most.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Could be wrong. They're a really dynamic defense, and I'm sure Clay's got a number of different options to choose from. So it's probably not quite as simple as that.
Definitely. Pull goes up for Cleveland. Bit of a low pull, but still gets most of the distance of the field. Roosevelt going in kind of a vert stack. Cleveland getting matched up now. Disc again trapped on the home side. Handler move and get initiated. Cleveland doing a good job of making the handlers move. Unfortunate, a little bit too much contact there, but the players help each other up. Disc still trapped on the sideline for Roosevelt. Elects to dump it, going around. Got a nice timed cut to try to swing it. Elects to not hit them. Looks like we have a little bit of a call happening between the thrower and the marker.
Exciting matchup you might want to direct your eyes to here. Number 10, Aiden Lopez Escares, covering number 98, Steven Shetler on Roosevelt. Shetler, one of Roosevelt's better receivers, and Aiden certainly a top defender. So far, at this point, has been generally backing Shetler, challenging him to come under, but we'll see if that can change and Shetler can sneak open deep.
Yeah, it's always fun at the beginning of a game, kind of filling out your defender, filling out your offender, especially if it's someone that you're going to be matched up for most of a game, like trying to see what they're going to do first. Because there's only so much you can remember from games. We're lucky enough to have these semis filmed. Love the tight handler defense by Cleveland. High stall, Huck goes up. Number 10 flying through the air, gets his hand on it, knocks it into the turf. Cleveland disc now.
Yeah, Lopez Escar has shown what he can do when he has a chance to make a play at the disc. Big layouts, big jumps, a lot of speed. Really talented player.
Cleveland picks it up, goes into a vert stack, initiates their handler movement. Unfortunate collision again, little bit going for a poach D. Doesn't quite time it right.
Yeah, you really want to see number 30 probably slow up there.
Yeah.
When that up line's coming up.
Yeah, would not advise that kind of play from people. Like, he made a mistake, knows he did wrong. It's all good.
Yeah.
Live, you learn.
Yep.
Just tap back in. Immediate Huck goes up. Cleveland has 2 players in the vicinity, but number 7 for Roosevelt able to just get in front of all of them. Picks it up, taps it on the line, and tries to go. Got an open offender right in the middle of the field, number 98. Disc now in kind of like a really appetizing spot for Cleveland to try to get a Callahan. Just now on the goal line, Huck goes up, has number 18, floating a little bit, Cleveland coming under. Bodies out his defender, but not able to get a hand on it. Cleveland ball now. We have about 64 minutes left until cap. The score is 2-1. Cleveland sticking with their vert stack. And another immediate Huck goes up. Open receiver, but can the disc stay in bounds? No, it cannot. I still like that look. The receiver had plenty of steps, plenty of space. Maybe just give more space on the sideline for the thrower to be able to throw into.
It was a great look. I will say, though, that's 3 consecutive Huck turnovers now. Perhaps 4. I think there was a bailout to start the point.
Yeah.
So team's getting a little impatient. And, you know, I got to say, I think this works into Cleveland's favor. I think Roosevelt is going to have some more disciplined holds to get rolling here.
Oh, definitely. But also I like that they're opening up the deep game.
Yeah.
Like they're showing that, no, you have to guard us under and deep. And another bailout Huck goes up. 2 Cleveland defenders in the area. Disc gets the turf. Cleveland ball again. I do like that they're slowing down. They're walking to the disc, giving their offense a little bit of time to set up. Number 10 for Cleveland brings it to the line. Back to the stack, gets everything started. Nice gaining undercut. Just want to see a little bit more like cutter to cutter movement. Unfortunately, turnover in the backfield on the around dump throw. Roosevelt's disc less than 5 yards outside the end zone. Roosevelt picks up, looks at a center, get an ISO at the front of the stack. Number 18, jukes left, jukes right, jukes back to the other side, gets the disc, score.
Yeah, nice quick little inside there from Zavdi Gelfand. Really likes his inside flick.
Yeah.
He's got a nice trigger.
It's like, I personally prefer my around backhand, but I'm trying to like the IO forehand better. Yeah, nice little juke, waits for his offender to get open. Really difficult to guard that space.
Yeah, it certainly helps when you get a little bit of separation there. You can see he was even a little bit behind the isolation, but because he had generated enough separation, it was a high percentage throw.
Exactly, and that is, I'm not sure if that was a break or a hold for Roosevelt, but regardless, the score is 2-2.
That was a hold.
Thank you.
A hard-fought hold that ends up feeling a bit like a break, but you know, I'm sure Roosevelt will take it.
I love it.
And now we're seeing perhaps a timeout on the field.
Yeah, timeout. Both teams fired up. Both teams in this. Taking a second to regroup, talk about how they really want to attack or how they really want to stifle the offense a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of just get on the same page, take a breath, go attack.
So last D point, you know, we saw Roosevelt run that kind of contain, keep the disc in front zone, and almost get a break. You think we're going to see them run it back here, or are we going to see them switch it up again?
I kind of want to see them do it again.
Yeah.
Just to see if it works. If Cleveland breaks through it pretty quickly, then I would go back to person. But definitely try zone one more time, at least this early in the game, just to see if there's any tweaks that they can make to make things a little bit harder for Cleveland.
Totally. And do you think there's any adjustments that you would propose for Cleveland, or has it just been execution thus far?
I would vary depth of the various players, mainly the wings and maybe one of the people in the cup or up front area, and just kind of be a little bit more dynamic and unpredictable in those lanes, because Cleveland's doing a good job of timing those lanes. But if they can be a little bit more adaptable and attacking those spaces and unpredictable, they can maybe catch Cleveland off guard and end up getting a paw on a disc.
Totally. Yeah. I think downfield on the second level of that zone, just a little bit more motion, a little bit more finding the open spaces, pump faking to those looks could really help them beat this more efficiently here.
Yeah, but I like how Cleveland broke through the zone. They went backwards to go lateral to end up finding spaces open in the middle.
Yep.
Unfortunate turnovers after they got it through the cup, so maybe just a little bit more patience is what I want to see from Cleveland. Otherwise, both these teams are bringing it.
Yeah.
Cleveland ready to receive the pull. Roosevelt taking just a little bit more time on this timeout. 60 seconds left until cap. Score is 2-2. Still a gorgeous night. Not too cold for a lot of these players. A lot of skin out there for the arms showing or legs showing. It's not to the point where they need to be completely covered, so it's not that cold. It's probably perfect for them. Glad we're in a booth.
yeah, I'm glad. Yeah.
It's been pretty cold the last couple of days, definitely. Roosevelt cheers, heading back to the line. Mitch Kolzak talking to his O-line for Cleveland, Coach Mitch Kolzak. Probably having them prepare for either person or zone look and what they're going to do. Roosevelt just looks happy. Just, I can feel their energy from here. They're looking to execute. They're looking to get a break. Boo, Mitch. Like you and Mitch both coming off a national championship this last weekend. Congratulations again for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Molly.
Definitely something that we're really proud of, the city.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. But now it's the kid's turn, so
Yeah,
enough of you.
Yeah. You won't see any of that on Mitch's face right now. He's focused.
Yeah. He doesn't even care.
Yeah, he's already thinking about championship number 2 here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Roosevelt getting ready to pull. Nice floaty pull going up. Looks like it's going to stay in bounds. We have number 92 getting down for Roosevelt, and they are going to come zone again. And they elect to a little bit go more three-person like trapping zone versus their poaches in the lane zone. Roosevelt still doing what they're Cleveland doing what they're doing before, moving the disc laterally backwards in order to attack the middle. doing a good job using their fakes, move the disc around, make the defense go different spaces, open up things. Roosevelt doing a good job of varying their depth. They're getting close when they need to, and they're spreading out when they need to, taking away the most damaging pass. I also love the poise with the players with the disc for Cleveland, electing not to hit these like really quick, easy things that could easily be snacked or dropped.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Cleveland, there's opportunities to throw over the top, but Cleveland, Roosevelt seems content with leaving them there and challenging Cleveland to hit them. Another thing I love about the zone is how shallow they're able to keep their cup. A lot of these swings need to go far around instead of going straight across the field.
We have a little bit of a late bid by Roosevelt. Cleveland not very happy about it. They're going to talk about it for a little bit. We're going to be a little bit more aware of ourselves now for the rest of the game. Just getting tapped back in. I also like the spacing of Cleveland. They're not really occupying the same space, so they're making it really hard for the defense to really choose and try to take away spaces. Blade goes up, easily attacks it. Again, number 8 kind of running the show for Cleveland.
Yeah, Martin Lee clearly not afraid to make the smart but necessary throw to break through there, finding Zeppelin Ronig.
Yeah, he's not going for like the hero throw. He's going for what the throw that is needed in that moment. Dumps it straight back, gets the disc to the other side of the field.
But still here, this is 20, 25 throws, and we're not at the brick yet. This is
It's an excellent zone.
Yeah, this is a great zone point, and like we were saying, it's not windy. These over the top looks aren't too hard right now.
Yeah, but they can still be risky even if there's no throws, no wind. Those throws over the top can still be a little bit risky. They can hang a little bit longer. They can come in a little bit too fast.
Totally. Ooh.
And it looks like that one hung up a little bit too long. Cleveland calling foul. Looks like Roosevelt no contest. But still, that's an opportunity.
Yeah, players forgetting they got to return to the spot of the foul. They'll sort it out in a second here. And Bonilla is about to bring it back in.
There we go. It's up to the players to run the field. It's not up to us adults. And tries to go just a little bit too fast. Cleveland can't keep their hands on it, and it's a turn for Roosevelt. Roosevelt going into a hoe stack about 30, 40 yards outside the end zone. Number 7 picking it up. Elects to go deep to number 98. 98 going up big. Oh, wowie.
Great grab.
Decides
Steve
to get
Shetler.
trailing edge grab with his right hand.
Yeah. I was talking to a few of the younger high school players down there in the crowd before the game, and they were telling me that to have a shot in this one, Steve Shetler was going to have a big game. And right now they're up, and Steve Shetler just made a huge grab. We'll see if he can keep it going.
That was also just an excellent cut.
Yeah.
Able to maintain space. Great throw to the corner.
And the trust, was that from number 7, Jacob
I believe
Whelan?
so.
Yeah. He was looking for that right away.
Yeah.
And I don't hate that look. Like this Cleveland team, their identity is in their defense, and if you can minimize that and try and take your shot to the end zone, you can end up getting a goal and being ahead early, and they are now.
Yeah, definitely. Roosevelt up 3-2. Now here's the question: is Roosevelt going to come zone for the next point or not?
I think they do, right? I think it would be a
It
little.
was working.
It'd be a little brash not to. I think,
know.
right? Like I understand the unpredictability, switch it up thing.
Yeah.
But when it's working like it is right now,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
you gotta keep running with it.
Yeah,
And
making them throw so many passes, that's going to end up being a turn at some point somehow.
Yeah, and the mental component of there's a crowd here. This is a high pressure situation. It's not easy to go out and deliver the type of throws you need to beat a zone like this. So if I were a coach, I wouldn't want to give the Cleveland O-line any reprieve.
Oh, no. No, like, at least for me, the biggest thing about Zone O is just being very patient. Like, there's always going to be someone open.
Yeah.
Just depends on where they are. And however your offense decides to try to attack a zone, there's someone to your left or your right or behind or just right in front of you. You just have to figure out the timing and get it to them.
Yeah.
Roosevelt with the pull. and lands just out of bounds. Cleveland will take it to the brick mark. And it looks like Roosevelt is coming out in person. Cleveland going into their vertical stack. I like how tight all the the Roosevelt players are to the Cleveland offense. Like they're just ready to try to attack and get a disc.
Right.
Got a little bit of a poaching from the far side, but can't connect to number 30 for Cleveland, but they elect to just go open side. And that's a zippy throw to number 30. He's the one that I saw open on this side, ends up just going to the other one. That's called a counter cut to a deep cut.
Yeah, Cleveland really open everywhere coming out of that vertical stack on that point.
Yeah.
Like you said, the Roosevelt players started quite tight, but it's hard to maintain that positioning when they set up with the amount of spacing that they had. A nice deep stack to attack under, and then deep, and eventually it just led to Cleveland Stars getting a ton of separation.
Yeah, Cleveland doing a good job of attacking up line at the same time. Opposite side of the stack, undercut, turns into a deep cut, lots of space to throw into. Score, hold, 3-3. And they're having fun. I wonder, so there wasn't much that Roosevelt did that point to challenge Cleveland, so I'm wondering, at least for the other D points, are they just going to elect to go zone for at least the first couple of stalls, if not, or first couple of possessions?
Well,
and then transition or
yeah,
something.
At least for the next D point.
Yeah.
I kind of think they should, right? I mean, it yielded such good results those first two D points. So we'll see.
We will see, but now Cleveland on O, wondering if they're going to be person or zone.
Yeah, and to get there, Roosevelt's going to have to hold through this formidable Cleveland D. You
exactly.
know, I got a feeling that this is when Cleveland's going to really try to latch in and do what they do, but we'll see.
I know it's easy for us to speculate. What could they do if this happens? But that's not what they're thinking about. They're thinking about just this point.
Right.
Because everything else doesn't matter for them. It's just this point is all that matters. It doesn't matter what they're doing after the game. It doesn't matter what they're doing after half.
Yeah.
All that matters for these players right now is this point right now.
Yeah, I guess that's what happens when you get a couple of coaches up in the booth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like now I do get to think about the future stuff, and it's kind of fun. Cleveland with the pull, number 10. Low pull, but still has the distance. Roosevelt starting out in a hoe stack, centering it to number 7. Finds the under to number 18. 24 going deep, and we have a foot block. I thought that was going to be an instant score. Cleveland says no. Excellent mark by Cleveland. They go into their vertical stack, taking their time, walking to the disc. D-line offense about to get rolling. Roosevelt doing a good job of, they know that the back of the stack is the one that's going to be cutting under, so they're starting to front that pass. And they're able to get a paw on it. They're kind of electing to front a little bit, depending on how far away the receivers were from the disc. Which that just shows a lot of maturity and smarts. Roosevelt disc again. It's like the foot block never happened, but to me it did. It was amazing. Finding number 18 again under. 18 really wants to throw it to number 24. Finds his handler. Elects to swing it over to the far side. And we have a huge under layout block by number 10, Cleveland.
Massive closing speed by Aiden Lopez-Escaris. That's his second D of this game, right?
He flew. He like started that flight very far away from where he actually hit it.
You know, I haven't watched that much Cleveland this season, but I feel like I've seen a lifetime's worth of Aiden layout Ds at this point. That was incredible.
That was awesome.
Oh,
We're going to talk about that a lot.
Yeah, and let's see him go to work on the turnover.
Yeah. Just gets center to him. Swings it over to the opposite side. Change the field a little bit. Cleveland still in a vert stack. And puts up a space shot to Aiden. And another trailing edge. Oh.
Massive individual effort there.
Aiden Lopez, you have a fan up here.
Yeah.
Wow. That's another break for Cleveland. They lead Roosevelt 4-3. Wow, I'm still impressed by both of his layouts in this point.
Right, yeah. Fired up, as he should be.
Wow.
And hopefully we get more excitement out of that Steve Shetler and Aiden Lopez matchup.
Definitely.
You know, two of the strongest and most formidable athletes on the field going at it. Pretty fun to see.
Oh, I love it.
Love it.
This is going to be a fun game. It's kind
Yeah.
of just back and forth. Like it's too early to call who maybe has the momentum. Like, yeah, Cleveland right now has the energy and has the hype and has the excellent plays that gets everyone fired up. But Roosevelt's about to go on offense too. They can do that. They did that a little bit ago with a nice trailing edge grab. Just happened to be high versus low. I personally want to see a little bit more person from Cleveland just because I know that they can run. Try to challenge the Roosevelt reset staff. But I love some zone.
Yeah, judging by the line here, the last time that Cleveland went zone, they brought, Isaac World-Amerium and David Lee, I believe, David Zhao, excuse me, over for a D point, and they ran zone that time. So we're seeing that again, a couple of their O-line players crossing over, and we'll see if that's a pattern, if that's kind of something they like to do. One thing that's really impressive about this Cleveland team is how deep they play. All the way down the roster, they have players that can come in that only play a few points, but really are productive on the field for them.
Yeah, productive, know your role, win as a team. Roosevelt again in their host stack, 18 getting everything started. 41 for Roosevelt now with the disc. Cleveland doing a good job of kind of orbiting and what my coach calls bangling, trying to give the offensive cutter a bad angle, but doesn't end up stopping the deep look to number 18. And then he rips one to his teammate in the end zone, just a little bit too zippy. Turnover for Roosevelt, Cleveland disc.
Real bummer there. Great shot there from Zavdi Gelfand to find number 18 sneaking off the top level of that horizontal stack.
Yeah.
Roosevelt, their horizontal stack, I think you mentioned this earlier, is maybe about 5 yards a click deeper than we usually see. Cleveland's done a good job of stopping under despite that, but Zavdi doing a good job finding a late stall huck there.
Cleveland tapping in, centering it to the middle of the field. Number 3 now with the disc. Pretty much gets it all the way to the other side of the field. Great undercut by number 2 for Cleveland. Shoots it to number 7. I love the cutter-to-cutter movement for Cleveland. Centering it to the other handler. Swinging it. Excellent time cut for the counter cut by number 12. IO break throw. Number 7 for Roosevelt. Almost able to sneak in there. Disc now centered back again for Cleveland. Again, their handler movement going. Nice little throw and go action. Doesn't get it back to himself for number 20. And Roosevelt able to clamp down on that kind of floaty, bladey pass by Cleveland. And he elects to throw it across the field, just outside the end zone line. Looking to reset it instead of trying to jam it through, having some patience. Swings it around to teammate, and that is a hold for Roosevelt. 4-4 now.
Zavdi Gelfand putting his mark on that point. Great reset D on a similar player to him, Isaac World-Amerium. Get the D and then got it rolling with a nice crossfield throw.
There was a lot of impressive things about that point from both teams. I loved the discipline from Cleveland and their timing from their discipline vert stack. But I also love the gunslinging of the Rough Riders.
Yeah.
Really nice to see. Like, they're able to pinpoint their open people, execute an excellent throw, and then once they're outside the end zone, take a little bit of a breath, wait till something opens up, score. And if I had to predict it, I would say Roosevelt's going to come zone.
Yeah.
Because it was working before, and it definitely slowed Cleveland down, made them think twice about moving the disc forward. But I'm not their coach. We'll see. I also want to highlight just the kind of positive and focused body language by both teams. Like, no one's has their head down. No one's like mad. about something that happened. No one's like overly excited. They're just kind of like hyped or focused, and then they're just ready for the next point. Like just a lot of maturity right now that I'm seeing on the field. Roosevelt getting ready to pull the disc.